Okay, welcome, folks. Continue with the Mimer, the Hasidic discourse. Shuva Yisrael, return Israel, Ad Hashem Elokecha, until Hashem your God, Ki kashalta ba'avanecha, because you have um, tripped up um, due to your sin. That's the verse. So, why Hashem Elokecha, the two names of God? Why the fact that you have to, if you're doing tshuva, if you're doing penitence, and of course it's because of, you've tripped up. Why does the verse have to say that? Right? So it must be something it's adding. So we explain it in the divine services, two basic ideas. Sume Ravasi, to remove yourself from evil and do good. And they're connected to the two names of God. Name Elohim is connected to remove yourself from evil. And the Shem Havaya, the Tetragrammaton, is connected to doing good, right? Abaya is past, present, and future in one. And let Liba in, please. All right. That's the intent you have when you say the name, that name. And Elohim is power, strength. That God has the power over the heavens above and the earth down here below. So the fact that God is beyond time and his name is past, present, future is one, refers to in the terminology of soivev, encompassing, the encompassing divine light, right? The encompassing light of, and then the power of Shem Elohim is the investiture. That God fills the world. He doesn't surround the world. He fills the world, right? Huh? To open? Yeah. So from Shem Havaya, because it's beyond time and space, meaning it's beyond the world. So therefore, from that name alone, it would be the 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 limitation is limited. Not so limited, right? So what we have here then is in the two names, the encompassing all worlds and filling all worlds, which filling means that that divine energy and light is comparable to that what it's filling, right? Just like the cup. Uh, no, it's okay. Just like a cup, right? It takes a parameter. Coffee in the cup takes a parameter of um, of the cup, right? That it fills. So God fills, taking the parameters, which is the limitations of the created being. Now, let's take this further. So when we're speaking about that God encompasses the world, meaning the world is not comparable, beyond it, right? That's what it means encompassing. Physically, when you encompass something, you're over it, right? So you're beyond it. So its engagement with the world is like is without engagement. In other words, you don't um, because you're beyond it. So you're not you when you're beyond something, you don't have to struggle to engage when you encounter that something. When you are trying to get into someone's head and heart, then well, you got to really work hard because you got to engage, right? To win over the mind, win over some person's heart. So that's like that's involvement, engagement, investment, right? But here, being beyond, well, you know, the engagement is kind of like autopilot, like without effort, right? It's like Einstein with a little 5-year-old, and it's just a metaphor, so not to take it the wrong way. When it comes from his intelligence is so beyond the 5-year-old that his engagement, right, is just like without an effort because there's nothing, someone who's comparable to him, and he's got to now explain himself, explain his ideas, and he might get pushback. There's an engagement there. There's an investment there. Investment meaning that you've got a investment of yourself to that person, so you can explain to them. But to the 5-year-old, just comes without effort. So that's just a metaphor to use for Sovev, right? This idea of God that He's beyond. The metaphor for this is ratzin, is will, right? Where's your feelings is in your heart. Where's your intelligence is in your brain. There's a specific location, so right where it expresses itself. Right, when you have fear, your heart feels it, feel the palpitation. Right, um, when you understand something, you know that the awareness is in the mind that you are understanding. Where's your will? It's nowhere, and yet everywhere. Right? Your will is encompassing you, right? Your will encompasses you. It's not investiture. It doesn't invest. It doesn't, you know, from the will then cause your mind to perceive because you want something, you want to connect with this person, and your mind then is going to perceive, is going to invest how to do that. Your heart will invest in how to, be in the right emotive place to connect with that person, right? The mind and heart will invest, will will take into consideration, the individual and how to, you're gonna tailor make it. Will doesn't tailor make. Right? Just like it has no place in you because what your will is the revelation of your soul. Just like your soul's everywhere, your will's everywhere. It's the revelation. That's why in Hebrew it's called ratzin. Ratzin coming from the ratz. It runs. It's the running, meaning the first revelation of the soul, the first movement out of the soul. And why running? Because there's a power to it, right? It runs. You run for what you want, right? So, but who's running? All of you, so to speak. Even it's your feet that does it. But when you want something, it's sort of like it's all of you, because it's a revelation of your soul. That it's the first expression of the soul, right? Is the fact that you will, yeah. But it's not enclosed. That's the point here. Just like it doesn't have a particular place, it doesn't clothe itself in a particular place, it will then be the cause for your mind now to clothe itself into what I want and how to figure to get it with my mind and how to position my heart in the place where it needs position so I can get what I want. That clothes itself, but not the will. It's encompassing. Okay? Is that clear? Is that clear, folks? Okay. Hmm? Okay. Therefore, the worlds that come from the light of Sovev, right? The worlds are not a real thing yet, right? Because in your will, it's, again, where is that will? It doesn't have a place, meaning in fact, you want something, right? Yeah. The fact that then you use your mind and your heart, and then you use your thoughts and your speech and your act and bring it to action. Oh, then it becomes something, right? There's a something there that, right? But when God creates from just that position, right? The creation of the world is not yet any reality. Just like your will, because you want something. Well, if you just left it that you want, and then you didn't invest mind, heart, thoughts, verbalize, and your actions, then it's nothing, right? Nothing, meaning in the sense that there's nothing substantial there. Just remember that we're using this as a metaphor to understand God creating the world, right? In the end, really what Ratzon is the movement of the soul in a particular direction. You know, I, you know, that's what it is. Okay. So likewise, God creating the world just from will, which is Seviv, all encompassing. Right. So really, what will is not so much about what the will is about. Think about it. What's really will about? Me fulfilling my will. Because that's an expression of me, right? It's about me fulfilling my will. So it's not so much about what the object of the will is, or the thing about the will is. It's about, right? And we see that in ourselves. You want something. First of all, why do you want it? If it's a real will, then you want it because it's an expression of you, right? It's an expression of you. That's the true desire, right? If it's um, true desire, it's an expression of you. That's what you want. So it's really about you fulfilling your will as an expression of you. So with this, then we can get an appreciation, the connection of Or Soiviv, the light of Soiviv, the encompassing light, and the light that is enclosed, Memale, that fills the world, to the names of Vaya and Elohim. The light that fills the world is called in the name Elohim, because Elohim is power, strength, right? What's the point of a power? To make an impact. Power means the power to impact, right? Meaning that's an investiture because you're impacting. It's about the impact. It's not about you, not about you. It's the strength to impact. It's about that which you're impacting, which is meaning the way you feel that thing or you engage with that thing, right? Whatever it is. I hope you're getting this, folks. It's very profound, but very, important. So now, since the fact of the world is through this power of Elohim, right, that is creating the world, when is it creating the world? Every moment, right? From something to nothing. That's what it's doing. So what's the intent of Shem Elohim in its act of creation? Is that he has the power of impact. The higher worlds, lower worlds, right? That he has dominion, and dominion is, his. That's what Elohim represents. And when does he have dominion? Only in the initial act of creation? No, but every moment, because every moment that he's creating. With Shem Elohim, right? And in the act of creating, the power of God, which to make the impact of creation, right? Every moment is then that which is being created is in being impacted in its very being, to its very core being. That's the investiture of the light of God that fills the world, Shem Elohim, right? Making the impact every moment, creating something from nothing. On the other hand, the encompassing light is called Havaya, which is past, present, and future is one. Why? Because that creation that comes from the light of Sevev, its, its idea is in order that the will of the creator be fulfilled. It's not so much about the creation and the power and the impact, but the will should be fulfilled. And in will being fulfilled, is there a distinction, one thing or another? No. Well, that's like past, present, and future. There's no distinction in that name of God. It's all one. It's all God's will, period. No distinction. When an Elohim, it's about the power of impact. then that's the way he vests himself in making the impact and creating me, right? No, it's the impact is on what you make the impact, right? Not about him, it's about the impact, that he has the power over me, making the impact and creating me. The power is the power of God every moment creating, right? And therefore it's me versus the impact that he's making and creating a Kleenex box, right? Different impact, different, which means different letters, right? Right? Different letters that invest in the thing that created, right? A different word. You get this, folks? You're great. And if you don't get it, then you're also great. But very very powerful. Okay, to be continued.
Thank you, Rabbi.
I guess.